thinking he was trying to put the game on his shoulders. He's quickly taken down. 1v1 here.
I can't even imagine the nerves just coursing through their veins right now.
That's it.
Melee kill on Pilar. He can just run straight towards the bomb.
Mohak is going to be left all by himself. Two players going in. The trade should come in almost instantaneously, but no, he's going to stay alive. Snip shot goes in. Oh my goodness, Mohak finds the kill.
Welcome to the KontrolFreek 2v2 S&D Showdown powered by Beyond. My name is Frank, and I'm alongside Jared today. Jared, how's it going, man?
Going great, man. Looking forward to the action. And earlier this month, we pushed our first qualifier to our KontrolFreek Showdown grand final. So I'm excited to see who's going to earn that second spot today.
Yeah, and that's something really interesting, too, because our champions from that last qualifier are going to be one of the first teams we observed today. That's going to be the team Speed Demons, of course, who's comprised of Valence and Capsidal. So we're going to be checking out their action, seeing if they've been practicing, honing their craft, so to speak. Yeah, and it's interesting because that last qualifier, they had a little bit of a shaky start in that semifinal. I think that series ended up being 2-1. But in the grand final, they just absolutely smoked that last team. So before we get into that action, though, let's break down sort of the prize pool and format a little bit. So over the next several weeks, teams of 2 from Black Ops 4 will be competing in our qualifier tournaments. And not only is there the cash prize of $1,250 on the line per qualifier, but the winner of each qualifier, each tournament, will also earn their spot in the final 5K tournament that's going to be in August. So pretty cool stuff there. That's a total of like $10,000 on the line with multiple chances to win that cash. And of course, first place today is going to be taking home $1,000. And second place, not too shabby, going to be taking home $250 as well. And then to touch on the format real quick, this is a single elimination bracket. So teams that have made it this far, if you lost one series, you're out. So there's no losers bracket runs here. And each matchup is going to be a best of 3 series. So the teams will have a little bit more room to adapt to their opponent's play styles. We definitely saw that last qualifier with some of the teams there, not as rigorous as a one and done style tournament. There's a little bit more wiggle room to plan some strategies around and adapt. So with that being said, let's take a quick look at our current bracket and what teams we have in these semifinals.
Yeah, so our first match will be Speed Demons versus Good Tapir. And on the other side, we're still waiting for a match in the quarterfinal to wrap up. That's going to be Easy Money versus Enzinct. But the shocking thing on the right side of your screen is going to be New Religion taking out Moo Gang. We were talking about this from the very beginning of the tournament. Moo Gang, they have won, I want to say, 2 or 3 tournaments.
I think it's 3 now.
Yeah, they have won, I want to say, 3 tournaments during the Beyond Call of Duty Black Ops 4 era. And those 2 players, they went their separate ways, but then they came back together for this qualifier. So we're thinking maybe this is their chance to secure a spot. But they're actually eliminated by New Religion, and both players I'm not too familiar with. So we're going to have to see if this is just a gem of a team or what. But that'll be our second match once we find out the other winners from that quarterfinal.
Yeah, that'll be cool to see, and it's nice to see players like Mutex coming back and getting involved in these tournaments, because we have seen them a bunch of times in the past, really, putting on great shows in our tournaments, putting on stellar performances. But yeah, that's got me excited to see what this New Religion roster can bring. And I think the players on that are T-Killer and S-Clamp. So that'll be fun to check out. But of course, right now, our first semifinal is going to be between our previous champions, Speed Demons, going up against Legends of the Forest, Good Tapir. The Speed Demons roster, of course, you saw them last time. That's going to be Capsidal and Valence. The Good Tapir roster comprised of Slayers and Nicotaz.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this Good Tapir squad. But they definitely have a very tough match. But like we said during the first qualifier, Speed Demons were kind of rough in that first semifinal, but they caught fire in that grand final. So this is probably their best opportunity to catch them off guard.
Yeah, for sure. It was that game 2, that final map in that grand final where like the Speed Demons roster just really exploded and had just a tremendous start. I think they ended up winning that like 6-1 in the grand final. But their semifinal run before that was a little shaky. I think they won the first map, lost the second, and Valence was really able to clutch up for them in that semifinal to take them to the grand final. So we'll see if they kind of identified that weakness or that potential sort of chink in the armor for them, and see if they made some adjustments and come out maybe a little more warmed up or a little more ready for some of the teams they're going to be facing here. But it looks like Valence took a little bit of fire trying to work towards that A bomb site. I'm on board with Slayers right now. A new player is able to take down Valence. That's the bomb going to be going down. Now Slayers in another battle. His teammate Nikitaz backing him up here. Battle going down in the middle. This is going to be Cap Seidel having to make a play for the Speed Demon squad. Cap Seidel, though, being forced to back up by Slayers and Nikitaz as they defend this bomb. This is an absolutely dangerous spot for Cap Seidel to be in.
Yeah, and Cap Seidel is usually not the playmaker for this team. He's kind of the backbone that backs up his teammate. So this is going to be a very tough 1v2, and he is quickly taken down. If that was Valence in that position, I could have seen him get that 1v2 play like we've seen so many times during the first qualifier.
Right. Yeah, Valence was making a lot of those plays, especially with the SOG, which got a little bit of a buff, which we might see come into play here. We'll see if it's a little more prevalent. I know a lot of players previously, we saw a lot of Maddox play, as to be expected, but that SOG, the SMG, getting a little bit of a buff with the hit scan there. So I'm on board with Cap Seidel right now. Had a tough position in that first round of the semifinal to be in. We'll see if he can turn it around. But like you mentioned, Cap Seidel, not really the flashy playmaker of the Speed Demon squad, but definitely the backbone that allows Valence to make some of the sick and crazy plays we saw last qualifier. But if Valence is taken down early, that's definitely a weakness for the Speed Demon squad because so much of their momentum relies on Valence making plays. Looks like Valence and Slayers got in a little bit of a scuffle there. Like Slayers taking down Valence again. So bomb going to be going down as well for Good Tapir. Now Cap Seidel having to make another play, but that's going to be Slayers taking him down.
That was a great play out of Slayers. I'm sure we'll see that in the kill cam. Let's see who it is. Yeah, it is Slayers. So he was just perfectly angling himself behind the box there to get the kill. So he picks off that one, checking his back. That's usually the best thing to do. When you take out one opponent, the other one's probably right around the corner. But he does spot Cap Seidel there and just a perfect angle to quickly take out his opponent.
Yeah, good first showing out of Slayers there. So we're going to have to see if Speed Demons can adapt. But like we said before, it took them a while to get warmed up. I'm on board with Valence right now. He is picking up the bomb for Speed Demons. Look like they're making a rush towards that B bomb site. We're going to have to see Valence 0-2. Cap Seidel also 0-2 right now. Slayer's almost taking all the kills for Good Tapir, sitting at a nice 3-0. So Valence now checking these corners, trying to see if anyone from Good Tapir is around. Looks like Nikitaz is there. Cap Seidel going to be being taken down by Nikitaz. So now Valence, we've seen him clutch up in these 2v1s before, but Slayers and Nikitaz seem to have that teamwork down pat. Valence, though, there he goes, getting that kill on Nikitaz. A couple shots coming in from Slayers. He's going to be able to slide out of the way and heal up. We'll see if he's able to bait out Slayers here. Slayers running by. Not sure if he's trying to wrap around to where Valence's position is. Both players playing it a little slow, slowing down. Valence going to have the clean plant on the B bomb site. So bomb going to be going down for Speed Demons as Slayers checks A. Now knows the bomb is down, going to be wrapping back around through middle as Valence is able to take up a position here.
And Valence, I feel like he has the advantage. He has a SOG and a Maddox in the back pocket, so he can kind of work multiple angles here while his opponent just has the Maddox with the pistol in the back. So Slayers is going to have to be careful around those tight corners. He can quickly get taken down by the SOG. We mentioned that hit scan update. It's not going to be too much of a big deal at close quarters, but at long range, that hit scan is going to be huge. I don't think he's going to have enough time for the defuse. He's just going to let it go, and Valence will take that win and also a kill to end the round.
Yeah, so that could be the little momentum shift that Speed Demons need right now. Again, we see Valance able to clutch up those 2v1s, getting that bomb plant and the 2 kills to finish it off. Impressive stuff out of him always. But yeah, that slow start always makes you have a little bit of doubt in the back of your mind. I got to say, though, I'm impressed by the way that Good Tapir has been playing straight off the bat here. But keep in mind, it is a best of 3, so it's a guaranteed second map, no one and done with the KontrolFreek 2v2 showdown. So let's see. I'm going to hop on board with Nikitaz. Looks like he has the bomb, and he's been playing pretty solid for this Good Tapir squad. Yeah, there's really not much to say outside of Good Tapir. Looks to be playing pretty solid. No major mistakes, nothing too crazy, and a good first 2 rounds out of them. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this map plays out.
Yeah, the round that they did lose, it was just Valance catching one of the players separated from his teammate, and that's just a deadly situation to be in. So Valance was able to quickly take out one opponent, and then when he's in that 1v1 situation with that advantage, it's gonna go in his favor most of the time. So overall, Red Team is playing really well. I like how they're not playing overly aggressive and falling into that trap. They're trying to dictate the pace. Nikitaz noticing that there's a fight breaking out.
Oh my! There's no way! Did Valance seriously just do that to tie it up? That was an incredible play out of Valance. Let's check this on the replay here. Looks like Valance was able to just clutch up a close range 2v1, sliding in and getting that shot melee for the final kill.
I don't know if that was communication from his teammate or if he was just expecting his opponent to be down that tunnel, but just perfect slide to avoid some extra shots. And all he really needed was just a shot and a beatdown, but he made sure that he was able to pepper in those shots to secure the kill. So now we're tied 2-2. Capsidal having a pretty rough game at 0-4, but still his kind of plays is setting up Valance to get all these kills and win the round. I want to stay on board with Capsidal, though, and see how he's going to continue playing this. I saw he was running a Maddox. Now he's switching to the SOG. So I'm not sure if that was a play call for the entire team to just both go SOG really aggressive. But bomb is going down.
Nice.
And he survives. That's huge.
Wow, being able to stay alive there, definitely huge. I was just going to say, I think we saw Valance pick up the bomb earlier, so maybe a little bit of a play call switch there as Nikitaz does go down. Slayer's, though, going to be taking down Capsidal. But yeah, Capsidal did pick up that bomb this round to get the plant, maybe recognizing that Valance giving him a little more time to play, but that's going to be Slayers taking down Valance with the Maddox there, going to be able to get the defuse to take back the lead.
Good play from Slayers. I like the discipline out of the guy. Valance, he got a couple shots into his opponent, knew that he wasn't on the bomb site, so he was going to just wait that 5-7 seconds or so where he can come back out. But Slayers, he was waiting for it, and he was able to get the leg up on that fight. So you can see Capsidal getting caught off guard, and Valance momentarily gets that bait there. He goes back and then pops back out when he's expecting Valance around the corner. Just caught him off guard. Great play.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to kind of bring up or even think about, that the fact that these tournaments now are being broadcast. It could be something that Slayers and Nikitaz watched some game film and saw the way Capsidal and Valance try to play, because Slayers is doing an excellent job of just waiting for that Valance aggression and just being ready to take him out as he pushes. I think that was something that we saw in that first qualifier that caught a lot of the teams off guard, was Valance would just come in a 2v1 scenario and just take everybody out. The teams weren't really set up. They weren't aiming down sights in preparation for it. But Slayer seems to be reading that movement from Valance pretty well. So we'll have to see if Valance and Capsidal can either adapt to that, make a couple play calls, or switch things up to just secure more of these round wins, because Slayer seems like it's ready for everything that Speed Demons has been throwing at him.
Great team shot out of this red team, but now we're down to a 1v1. Valance versus Nikitaz. Valance did spot him getting the plant, and he's not able to slide away in time.
Yeah, it's little mistakes like that, or just those little bits of timing where Valance was able to be there and get enough shots into Nikitaz to take him down. Not a horrible loss. Nothing really, too wrong with that. Just good plays out of Valance and good shots coming down range from him.
And if this were the first qualifier before the patch, I don't think Valance would have gotten that kill. The hit scan just makes it so much more deadly at that range. So, I mean, either way, great play out of Valance. Now 7-3. I want to stay on board with him for this round as he picks up the bomb. But one thing I want to point out, even though we have a tie game, I've noticed the red team, when they win, it's just this very disciplined style of play. But when they lose, it's a player that's getting caught out and forcing to be in a 1v2 fight. But Nikitaz bringing the aggression to the blue team and quickly ending the round.
Yeah, they're able to get some really quick round wins when they do get those players off guard, especially taking down Valance first. And like you said, with that being out of position, they seem like they always have a game plan going into each round. And it's just kind of coming down to whether or not Valance and Capsidal run into them in an advantageous position. I think Slayers and Nikitaz definitely have that game plan. They know what they want to do with each round. But if something goes a little wrong, things get a little dicey for them. So, yeah, it might come down to just what position players are getting caught where. And that might be the deciding factor as we near the end of map 1.
And look at the mini map. Once again, red team separated, blue team punching down the middle. Looks like they're going to catch Slayers, and he's quickly taken down. So this is one of the big issues from this red team, is that they're constantly being caught into these 2v1 situations. And that's the main reason why this map is staying so close on that scoreboard.
Yeah. Capsidal and Valance doing a great job of just running together, doing a lot of, pushes together as a team. Whereas I don't know how many, I'll have to pay a little bit more attention, but it seems like the good Tapir squad, they tend to split push almost every round. One's going to one bomb site, one's going to the other, outside of maybe when they both push mid. But even then, they kind of both, no pun intended, taper off and go their separate ways. Sorry, I had to do it. Yeah,
but the overall strategy that I'm seeing from this red team, the ideal situation is that blue team catches one of the players, but the red player stays alive, and he can call out for the other player that's on the other side of the map to get a flank in. So a lot of these teams, they don't expect a pinch, but the moment you see yourself in that 2-on-1 situation, you just push through and kill that player. You can see right now, blue team, they're just rushing across, and they spot one player, but looks like red team's grouping up this time. But like I was saying before, you got that flank coming in from Valance, picks off one. Red team's in a tough situation here, but Slayers with the great clamber on top of the truck, and he is taken down.
Yeah, excellent follow through by Capsidal there. Like we said, Valance kind of makes those pushes. Capsidal is there as that backbone to follow up, but that was an amazing flank out of Valance to get behind the good Tapir squad. And yeah, I think that came down to that. I mean, Speed Demons basically just held forward, right? They ran through, knew that good Tapir wasn't going to be able to get enough shots in them to take them down and eliminate one of their players. So they were able to just sprint and heal up as they made those pushes and flanks. And that seals them the lead. They're now 1 round away from winning this first map as they turned around what could have been an upset in this first map of the semifinal.
And lots of weight on the shoulders of Nikitaz. He has the bomb. And like you're saying, they're on map point right now. Well, the blue team is, rather, Speed Demons. So Nikitaz, he has to stay alive here. He's going to have to either get that bomb down or get some kills soon. Minute on the clock. It looks like everybody's playing pretty slow. His teammate is taken down. He has to get this kill as fast as possible. Gets the one, spots Valance. Tough challenge here.
The peak shot, and that's going to be Valance with the Maddox this time to take the first map. Man, that was it. Intense last round. I mean, I think I saw a little bit of an adjustment out of good Tapir there. They tried to stay a little bit more close together, cut off some of those flanks, not allow them to get caught off guard, but a great play there from Nikitaz that was able to take down Capsidal, but just could not challenge Valance at the end there.
Yeah, I want to say there was just a hint of greed there at the end. He was trying to force that peak and force that fight. But I can see where he was coming from. He was trying to catch Valance possibly during a reload, but he was just peeking a little bit too aggressively, and he was taken down. But overall, really close game 1.
Yeah, and I'm looking right now, 10 kills, 5 deaths out of Valance, but Slayer, 12 kills and only 6 deaths. So he really carried some of that slaying weight, maybe rivaling Valance, but I mean, they were just able to make those clutch plays again. And that's kind of been the story of Speed Demons as they have, moved through these KontrolFreek showdowns. They're just able to clutch up when they need to. And we saw, them struggle a little bit in that first semifinal, during the last qualifier, but maybe they've ironed out some of those kinks. they started off a little slow, but with the way they started off, I expected them to struggle a little bit more, but by the end, they kind of caught fire and were able to work their game plan again. They said, oh, wait, we need to control the pace of this match. That's how we win. We're speed demons. We got to hold forward. And once they started holding forward, the wins just started rolling in for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are now loading into Arsenal. And this is one of those... I feel like this map is quite controversial. It's one of those maps that you either love it or hate it.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see how these players will react. I think the main topic are those doors, being able to look through the windows but not trigger them, so you can kind of get intel. So this map is quite large for a 2v2, but it's going to be interesting to see how these teams play. Are we going to see an aggressive push towards one bomb site, or are they going to split up like we saw in the previous round? That's going to have a huge impact on how the game plays out.
Yeah, and this was, I believe, the map that Speed Demons lost in the last semifinal. So we'll see if they made any adjustments. And let me see here. I'm on board with Cap Seidel, who has the bomb right now, making a push towards this A bomb site. Looks like he's got the ICR now, putting a couple shots downrange, keeping Slayers at bay. Slayers looking for an angle to push up. And, of course, Cap Seidel's got Valence behind him, or I'm sorry, in front of him now, looking through. Does Valence have a sniper out?
Yes, he does.
Valence does have a sniper out, putting shots, trying to take down Slayer, unable to hit that first shot, but definitely a little bit of something different. I don't know if we saw Valence pull out that sniper in the last qualifier. He tries to push up, gets taken down by Slayer, though. I'm a little bit questionable on that push. It feels like he tried to make a play as if he had a SOG, but he just had a pistol. So it didn't quite work out the same way.
Yeah.
And sometimes you run into those scenarios, like you're used to moving a certain way, but you got to realize what you're working with, and that clearly didn't work out for him.
Yeah, with that in mind, once he had that sniper rifle for too long or made that first shot, he is stuck with that loadout. He can't swap. With that in mind, though, the pistol was technically buffed by making it hit scan, but I don't think that warrants a insane push into two people.
Yeah, with a pistol, I mean, you just think you're John Wick at that point. You're trying to do things that I've never seen anyone do.
The only thing I can think of is if it was just some sort of like Hail Mary prediction that he was hoping those players were double backing and he was going to try to chase them and catch them off guard, but ultimately that did not work. But here we go into the next round. These players using their headphones to see if they can spot these players around the corner. Bomb is going down by Slayers. And this
uncontested
is the
bomb plant there.
This is the ideal setup.
Oh, but there's Valence. And Cap Seidel. They're easy defuse for him. I mean, good Tapir had the setup. They had the bomb down, but just great plays out of Cap Seidel and Valence. 1-2, taking each player down one by one, and that's an easy defuse. So that's going to be tying up the second map here. Not a lot to say about that round. Just great shots from Cap Seidel and Valence. Both picked up the kills that they needed to, and they're moving on to the next round.
Yeah, the red team, they had the advantage, got the bomb down. I would say that this is one of the easier bomb sites to hold, considering all of the sight lines and having the high ground over the bomb. But it kind of just fell apart when I believe that was it Slayers? Somebody got caught off guard and was quickly taken down when he ran through the door going for the flank. So I think there could have been a little bit more patience there. But either way, it's 1-1. We still have a full map to go through.
All right, I'm back on board with Valence right now, who has opted to pick up that Maddox in favor of the sniper. And they're just kind of playing it slow, able to spot down Nikitaz right there, taking him down easy. And Valence with another two-piece, making quick work of good tape here. Sometimes I watch Valence, and I have no idea how he turns two so quickly.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where he's so aggressive that you either shut it down or he just destroys your team. And just look at that. Playing his corners perfectly, knowing exactly when to slide. And it's one of those things that the blue team has this advantage of. They've been playing together for so long in this team of Cap Seidel and Valence that Valence can kind of get an idea of what Cap Seidel is doing without even communicating or even looking at the minimap. So he knew it was safe to make that 2-on-1 play. Looks like he was able to spot both players through the window. He's going to back up and just make sure that he's not getting pushed too aggressively. Valence is taken down. So Capsidle is stuck with an ICR in a 2v1 situation. He might want to make sure that bomb goes down first before he tries making any plays. And he is taken down.
Great play by Nikitaz there. Right off the rip, went into vents, was able to catch Valance off guard and make that an easy round for them to tie it up at 2-2 here. Yeah, it was just, I mean, great awareness from Nikitaz, knowing where Capsidle wanted to push through as well, and able to just get those shots in and take them down.
All right, so we'll check out the map score. We're tied at 2-2. And it's weird because when you look at the first map, it was pretty much close until the very end where we saw Speed Demons run away with it. I think it ended, 6-4?
Yes.
So this red team, they're going to have to stay consistent and not let this slip away from them. It seems like when you're playing against Speed Demon and they're this hot, you're basically hoping for a round 11, so you have a shot at winning still rather than being 6-0 or whatever. So red team, though, they have an advantage against Capsidle, so this is looking like a good round for them. But let's see what Capsidle can do here.
I was just going to say, that's the way you want to do it, but the flank coming out from Capsidle, but that's going to be Nikitaz with the follow up there. But that all kind of fell apart when Slayers was able to get that easy kill on Valance right off the break, and then Capsidle just forced into that tough 2-on-1 scenario. He made the best of a tough situation, though, getting that quick flank, but it was Nikitaz wrapping around. If Nikitaz had gone through middle, which perhaps Capsidle had assumed he might have been able to make that play. But Capsidle just was taken out because Nikitaz was just hanging back after he took down Slayer. So good round out of Good Tapir there. Speed Demons, though, used to being in this position where it's close up until basically it's not with them, and they just decide to get serious and start pushing. Maybe they need to consider holding forward a little bit more, as that seemed to work out for them well in the first map.
Yeah, and even with this slight momentum shift in the favor of the red team, you can never get complacent when you're going against a Speed Demon squad. So I want to actually jump on board with Slayers. Currently running the Maddox, keeping an eye on the A side, trying to spot out a player. I'm not sure if he actually spotted Valance, but he was firing shots, so that's some intel for the blue team, as well as the red team now, as they're trading shots back and forth. Slayers,
yeah.
This is really interesting. He's trying to pick a fight with Valance.
Yeah, Capsidle, though, hanging back, still watching that B site, but now it looks like he got the call from Valance. He's going to be wrapping around. Actually, no, still unsure. This could be tough for Valance if he's found here. Bomb going to be going down for Good Tapir. That's Nikitaz on the plant, but Valance peaks just at the right moment, able to take down Slayers with that ICR. So now it's Capsidle and Valance on the aggression here. Valance, there's that pistol kill he wanted to get. So now it's going to be a defuse out of the Speed Demons to tie up the rounds at 3-3.
Tough round for this red team. They got the bomb down, and they didn't check their back. Those Slayers that was taken down from behind. And then from there, you're in that 2v1 situation, and it's really tough to play against that. Typically, you have a player that's going straight for the defuse, and then the other player will try to watch his back. But Valance, this was just a little bit too predictable for this Nikitaz player. That's a common spot to keep an eye on the bomb, and I think through Valance, his experience in 2v2s, when he sees that bomb down in that specific spot, he knows the exact sight line the other team's looking for.
Yep, so all squared away here going into the second map. Again, if Speed Demons win this one, they will be moving on to the grand finals. Again, I'm on board with Capsidle right now. Has that bomb, and they are doing what they know best, holding forward to the B bomb site. Good Tapir hanging around middle, trying to keep their options open. But we might see, a quick plant. Capsidle going to try to get that bomb down as Good Tapir wraps around. Going to be up to Valance, though, now. Valance taking down Nikitaz, and he takes two! That's going to be taking down Slayer for that round win. Valance does it again.
I would love to know how many times Valance has gotten 2 kills in a single round, like where he's eliminated an entire team by himself. Obviously, a little bit of help from Capsidle, but it's just insane how he keeps doing this so consistently.
Is it even clutching up when you do it all the time?
It's almost expected of him, right?
Right. It's still exciting to see, but we're going to have Valance play against 3 people next qualifier just to make it exciting, because 2v1s, it's like, oh yeah, he did it again.
So yeah, we might have to watch Valance. Notice how he's been switching up his weapons. Went from an ICR to a SOG. Did get the trade, so we're down to a 1v1 in a really important round. Speed Demons can force a match point.
Wow.
There we go.
Man, I think Slayers even had first shot on Capsidal there, but Capsidal being that backbone, they are now 1 round win away. Say that 10 times fast. From moving on to the grand final.
Just absolutely insane plays from honestly all of the players, but ultimately we're down to match point for Speed Demons. Can they close it out?
I'm watching Valance because I feel it. I feel like that's the play to watch. I know Capsidal has the bomb here, but I just want to see from his perspective how he's able to switch targets so well. It's almost like he's got that spidey sense of where both players are in any engagement. So he just snaps to each player so quickly. I mean, his reaction times are insane on that. Just like we saw when they got that 4th round win in that 2v1. It was just, I mean, it was like, you know, hey, another day on Call of Duty for him. So it looks like the bomb is going to be going down here at the A bomb site. Capsidal on the plant, Valance on the flank, looking for that wraparound from the B bomb site. But it's going to be good tape here going through that blue team spawn to push up. Hopefully they don't find Capsidal with his back turned. They're pushing up as a team now, which I like to see. They were kind of fighting 1v1s originally on that first map, but now trying to work together. But this might be a pinch coming in from Valance and Capsidal. Valance in that same spot, able to take down Slayers, able to heal up. That's going to be Nikitaz with the Maddox now on Capsidal. Able to take down Nikitaz, and it's going to be Speed Demons in the grand finals again.
Just this team is, I want to say, unstoppable over the last couple months.
Don't cast or curse it, man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they'll create an awesome story though, so maybe. I don't want to have that power, but
oh yeah, with great power comes great responsibility.
But yeah, Speed Demons securing grand final yet again, but they might have some tough competition around the corner.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. Again, for any of you guys watching right now, first, thanks for tuning in. And also, we've got another semifinal match that's going to be coming up next that will seed into this grand final. And we'll see if anyone can take down this Speed Demon squad. They're looking even more solid, though, this week than they did last week. Again, last qualifier, where they struggled a little bit in that semifinal. They, I think, ended up winning that round 2-1. So they've tuned up their gameplay on Arsenal quite a bit, looking very solid here. But let me check real quick if we have our matches for the next semifinal. I think it's going to be New Religion, who we haven't seen before, and they're going to be facing. Do we have confirmation on that side of the bracket yet?
I do believe that is correct. It'll be New Religion versus Enzinct. So New Religion in particular. That team took out Moo Gang, which we were hyping up going into the broadcast. Previous champions, and it was a team that broke up, and we were thinking, okay, maybe this is their time to like get back together and maybe secure a spot in that KontrolFreek grand final. But they were eliminated by New Religion, so I'm going to be keeping my eye on them when we go into this next semifinal.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. We've got some new challengers approaching for Team Speed Demons. But guys, that's going to do it for our semifinal number 1. And man, what a way to kick off this weekend's tournament. Also, though, if you're watching live, keep an eye on chat. There's going to be a link floating around in there that will save you 10% on all KontrolFreek products. So go ahead and check that out. We're going to head to a quick commercial break real quick, and then we'll return with our second semi-final. Stay tuned.
What's up, Freak Nation? My name is Exclusive Ace, and I'm a full-time YouTuber and Twitch streamer. I'm going to be sharing some tips on how to be a game changer in Blackout using the KontrolFreek FPS Freak Battle Royale Nightfall. The first tip that I have for you guys has to do with choosing the best location to land for the best gear possible for later in the match. If you want to get right into the fight as soon as possible would be firing range. For that juicy zombie loot, Asylum is an excellent place to land. Or there's my personal favorite, this is Construction. Construction spawns with a ton of loot, and my favorite part about it is if you get yourself in a tricky situation, you've always got that wingsuit to fall back on. The second tip that I have for you guys, and this has to do with the recommended weapon setups for Blackout. You definitely want to get your hands on an assault rifle or a tactical rifle. Some of my personal favorites at the moment are the KN57, the Rampart 17, or the ABR 223. Get your hands on one of these and you should have yourself set up quite nicely for your primary weapon. As for the secondary weapon, if it looks like you're going to run into a lot more close quarter situations, an SMG or the MOG 12 shotgun are excellent choices. If, however, it looks like you're going to be fighting more in the open, this is where the sniper rifles absolutely shine for that pinpoint accuracy at long ranges. This brings us to tip number 3, and this is get your hands on the Battle Royale Nightfall thumbsticks. These thumbsticks click directly onto your existing thumbsticks on your controller, and what these do is they effectively extend the length of your analog stick, which gives you a wider range of motion and extra precision to help you dominate gunfights in first-person shooters like Blackout.
All right, guys. So welcome back to the KontrolFreek 2v2 S&D Showdown, powered by Beyond. We've got the second half of the semifinals queued up for you guys now, and it's going to be S-Clamp and T-Killer going up against Enzert and Instinct. So a bunch of fresh faces. You gotta love to see it. But they've got a little bit of a road ahead of them, knowing that Speed Demons are waiting on the other side of that bracket in the grand final. They put on a show again for us today, but now it's time to see what these new players can do. And I gotta say, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, it was a long road just to get these guys into the lobby, but we got them in here. Apologies for the delay, but we are loading up into payload now. And all of these players, unfamiliar with these guys, so I'm not really sure exactly what to expect, but either way, should be an entertaining match to watch.
That's part of the fun, man. That's why I love these tournaments. You get to see new players, like new talent that's just coming up. You don't really see this many other places. You have your, established squads and stuff like the CWL, and you kind of know those people. But these players are all amazing too. I mean, they could probably hang with, a lot of the pros. That would be entertaining too. But there's something just so cool about seeing this level of play, that knowing there's all this talent that's still out there that might not get, the notoriety or that main stage presence. So we have New Religion. Let me hold up just a second. That was a quick first round coming out of, I believe it's pronounced Instinct. It's a little combination name from Enzert and Instinct. So they take a quick first round off of New Religion, and just that heaven play out of Instinct, able to clean up that kill and take that first round. So a strong initial rip from them. We'll see how T-Killer and S-Clamp respond. But yeah, these new faces, fresh faces, you get to see new play styles, and we get to see if any one of these teams have what it takes to dethrone Speed Demons.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point. You look at players like Valence and Capsidal from Speed Demons. Just a few months ago, these guys were relatively new to our eyes, and even players like Scump or whatever. You name any pro, at some point they had to start at some amateur level to climb their way to the top. So this will be a really entertaining match to see these guys fight for their spot in this grand final with an audience. So I'm on board with Killer. Spots out Instinct on the stairs. A little bit of a sloppy fight on either end of the map. Clamp does take out Enzerk, I believe is that what we're calling him.
Enzerk, yeah.
Yeah, Enzerk. So blue team now has that 2-on-1 advantage, but at least Instinct does have that bomb.
Yeah, thanks to Valence, though, whenever two players are clumped up like that, I am terrified because you never know how it's going to end. But that's going to be TE Killer jumping out, soaring into Instinct, cleaning him up with the headshot to tie up the rounds at 1-1. But yeah, like normally I would say, oh, this is easy. Like it's a 2-on-1. These two players, like if they get pushed, they've probably got it. But now that I've seen Valence play, it can go either way. Like stacking up like that, you might just have a player like Valence slide into the room with a SOG and massacre your whole team. But they were able to take that round and tie it up. But yeah, like you said, a little bit of a sloppy play, but I would just say more unfamiliar play. These teams, we haven't seen them before. We haven't seen them face off before. And I'm not sure if they've ever played each other before. So they might just be sort of feeling each other out. And I think this round kind of exemplifies that. The first two rounds, they really like butted heads. They kind of just ran into the middle and got to scrapping. But now we see TE Killer and S-Clamp slowing it down, being a little slower to push towards that A bomb site. But Enzerk and Instinct taking their time as well, wrapping around, trying to watch for flanks. So pace of play considerably slowing down here as both teams look for just an opening or just look for each other. Maybe they just want to fight it out. Maybe we're not even going for bomb plants anymore. Enzerk and TE Killer going to be the last players standing here as a trade happens. So yeah, TE Killer now just looks like he's on the hunt. Might engage with Enzerk here, but Enzerk with that Maddox going to be taking down TE Killer to get that round win.
Very strange pacing from all players.
Yeah.
In the previous semifinal, we saw one team being very aggressive, the other one responding, but it seems like these players are just trying to essentially like juke each other out, and is causing this weird timing. But ultimately, the better player is going to win the round for his team, and red team's currently up 2-1.
You know what it reminds me of? If you're like walking on a sidewalk and someone else is kind of walking at you, and then you both go to the right, and then you both go to the left.
Yeah.
That's like that.
That's basically what's going on in this game. Is like both these players are trying to execute, or both these teams are trying to execute their strategies, and it's just they're basically just walking right past each other or whatever.
Like excuse me. This is like sidewalk social anxiety manifested here. But we'll see if these teams can smooth it out a little bit. And maybe this is the first time they know their match is being streamed. I mean, there's some pressure there too that maybe a lot of these teams aren't used to. But it's going to be Enzerk getting that first blood on T-Killer. S-Clamp going to have to clutch up. Instinct getting that bomb planted at B. So he's going to have to make a play here. Instinct caught off guard. S-Clamp able to take him down, but it's going to be Enzerk coming in from behind with that Maddox. Another round loss here for New Religion.
Yeah, and one more thing I want to touch on when we see a team like Speed Demons or even like Mutex and Shaboud, we see common teams always make it into our semifinals. So this is the first time in a long time where we've seen two fresh teams duking it out in the semifinals. So maybe these teams aren't too familiar with one another, and that's one thing that when these teams are going up against like a team like Speed Demons, I'm sure they've watched VOD, so they're kind of familiar with how their play style is on certain maps. But I want to say both teams are quite unfamiliar with one another. As we're seeing Killer put down the bomb, this is a good opportunity to claw their way back into this matchup.
Yeah, just a quick bomb plant there. Looks like S-Clamp also going to be taking down Enzerk. Instinct now all alone takes down S-Clamp, but TE Killer from behind going to get that round win. So yeah, that was interesting to watch too. Just from that mini-map perspective, the red team almost had that A bomb site totally surrounded, but blue team was able to just push through mid, get to bomb site, get the bomb down, and then clean up from there. So sort of goes back to that point you were making about them just not really knowing what to expect from each other. So it almost comes down to that reactionary style gameplay where you just have to sort of take what the game's giving you. It's tough to read if any clearly defined strategies are being employed, like from the break, but definitely from a reactionary standpoint, TE Killer and S-Clamp making a good adjustment there, just saying, let's get the bomb down and we'll just slay from that point on.
Yeah, and I do want to say that there's going to be a heavy emphasis on individual skill throughout this matchup. I'm hoping to see, one or maybe two players just absolutely go off and carry their team as we see Instinct get a kill. So once again, we have this 2-on-1 advantage. I'm going to jump on board with S-Clamp and see how he responds.
Yeah, all right, on board with him now. And wow, that wrap from S-Clamp, able to take down Enzerk there. It's going to be Instinct left up. He does have the bomb, but is he going to go for the kill rather than backing off? He's now stuck in this position, knows that S-Clamp is aiming that line of sight, but able to dodge back and forth with a couple slides, but still staying along this breakaway. Going to push up and challenge now. Both players down weak, and Instinct reads the damage that he got into S-Clamp there, able to push forward and get that kill, extending the lead for them 4-2.
Yeah, notice how Instinct, he forced his advantage. He knew if he backed his opponent up, there was really nowhere to hide, at least in a timely manner. But when Instinct was in those crates, he could pop some shots, get a heal off, and still be safe. He had a lot of cover to work with. So Instinct, great play out of him to force that advantage when he had it.
Yeah, really cool to see. I was almost worried there for him. I'm like, man, this is a tough line of sight to be able to handle, especially being sort of outclassed AR versus SMG, but he made the best of that situation, really played it quite perfectly to turn the tides in his favor. I'm on board with T-Killer right now, and looks like they're just pushing through. Both Enzerk and Instinct split between A and B sites. Looks like they're watching for flanks, but both members of blue team coming around. Going to be in a little engagement there. No blood drawn as S-Clamp and Instinct exchange shots again. Ooh. Instinct going off the map. A little bit of a Hail Mary play out of him. Probably just mistimed the jump.
Yeah, well, I was watching from, I think that was S-Clamp's point of view. I think regardless, Instinct wasn't going to survive that. Even if he made the jump, he was going to be right in front of his opponent while weak. Enzerk, though, getting a great kill, now forcing a fair 1-on-1 fight, but the clock is going against him.
Yeah, it looks like S-Clamp did pick up that bomb, though. Getting the bomb down at B could be a good play for him to sort of shore up this lead a little bit. Enzerk going to be flanking around, knows the bomb's down there, but S-Clamp in a great position taking down Enzerk with that SOG.
It blows me away how effective that SOG is at like medium to long range. Like we mentioned before, it's now hit scan, so if you're aiming at somebody, it's going to instantly hit them. There's still that damage drop-off to consider, but he was in the ideal range to just quickly take down his opponent.
Yeah, it seems like it's almost just a little bit more of a consistent gun now from that medium distance. Right. That those fights, those challenges, you probably feel a little bit more comfortable taking them. And I think that's sort of the play style we're seeing. Like normally a SOG player in that position, it was a bigger risk to take that fight. But now if you trust your gun a little bit more, you're going to be not only more confident going into that engagement, but the gun's also going to follow through for you as well, where you can take those fights, whereas, maybe a little bit of a strafe could throw off that gun, you dodge 1 or 2 extra bullets, but now that it's hit scan, those 1 or 2 extra bullets make the whole difference.
Yeah, so here we go. Blue team currently down by 1 round. This is actually quite close overall. These two teams just trading blows, but I think this is now the time to kind of get an eye on the strategy from your opposing team. I want to jump on board with, let's see, let's jump on board with Enzerk. Running with the Maddox right now, and notice how both teams are staying quite close. Actually, just as I say that, blue team is starting to separate just a little bit.
Ooh, T-Killer, a good kill on Enzerk there, and that's going to leave Instinct down. He's got that Maddox now being pushed 2-on-1. Can he turn this around? Ooh. Does get 1 kill on T-Killer, but that's going to be S-Clamp finishing up that kill there, and plenty of time left to defuse that bomb. So we're all tied up now.
Blue team, that was just a little bit too scary for me.
It was a little close.
They were grouping up. They were grouping up and rushing through that doorway together. That could have been really bad if their opponent checked the corner just maybe a second earlier. But still got the round, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and we've got to mention it too. This is, again, the second semifinal that we're watching. There's still the grand final yet to play. And, from our perspective, maybe you're watching this with fresh eyes. Maybe you didn't catch the last qualifier, in which case, shame on you, but that's okay. I forgive you. But grouping up like that or making plays like that, either one of these teams going forward, they have to face off against Speed Demons in the grand final. And if you're playing like that, there's no doubt in my mind that Valence won't capitalize on that disorganized cluster that you're seeing. We've seen them clutch so many 2v1s that way before that it worries me for either one of these teams. They're going to have to at least get a little more stable in their play style if I think they're going to have a shot in that grand final of dethroning Speed Demons.
Yeah, and that's the big thing to consider. If you're just getting by and just barely squeezing through every single round, at some point you're going to hit a brick wall. But this is definitely a learning experience for everybody that's been competing throughout the day. You're always going to be improving and learning what you can do better, change up your strategies, and maybe even meet some new teammates down the line. But right now we're seeing a 2-against-1 advantage in favor of this blue team, and this round is quickly over.
Yeah, and that's going to be them taking that lead. So blue team now 1 round away from securing the map 1 victory over Instinct. Yeah, and maybe it is just a little bit of them finding their footing, kind of like you mentioned. So yeah, I'm interested to see how it'll play out. We haven't seen, either one of these teams really kind of ascend above the other in terms of strategy, or just feel like they have that footing. They are, like you mentioned, just exchanging blows back and forth. But I am impressed at the way that blue team was able to at least capitalize on those little moments where they needed to eventually take this lead here. Because the red team had a little bit of momentum. They looked a little bit more stable. But the blue team, they battled back. So now we'll have to see. Looks like an engagement coming. T-Killer has a couple shots onto Instinct, but no blood drawn yet. Now pushing in, that's going to be Instinct getting very aggressive, able to take down T-Killer with that SOG. Now both members of red team trapped in this building. S-Clamp has an eye on him, but has to watch this flank. He is going to be working around, setting up to get a couple shots on Instinct here. I think he does spot him out, but opts to wrap back around. We'll see if he reads this push or not. No, they're just kind of playing ring around the rosy around this mountain here as red team gets close into that A bomb site. That is going to be bomb going down by Instinct. So bomb comes down, but Enzerk is going to get that kill on S-Clamp to finish up the round and take that win.
Yeah, so round 11. I want to say Instinct had a really great play. I want to say for the first time he had a really aggressive play, but it was right timing. So I want to say the momentum is ever so slightly in their favor, but round 11, anything can happen.
Yeah, who do you want to jump on board with? Who's going to make the clutch play? Call it right now.
I'm going to go on board with Enzerk, see what he can do.
Okay, I like it. I was going to say the same thing. He's got that Maddox out right now. Looks like making a heavy push towards B. That is going to be T-Killer with that bomb for the blue team. And they opt to push more towards the middle, try to get a read. But red team sets up defense around the B bomb site. We'll see if the blue team opts to push this way. They could have a favorable scenario for them if they choose to wrap around A. But that is going to be Enzerk kind of on that cutoff. But both teams just sort of checking corners, playing it slow. This is a round 11, like you mentioned. Bomb is going to be starting to go down here. That's going to be T-Killer getting shot right as he's about to plant by Instinct. So now a 2-on-1 in the red team's favor. Enzerk and Instinct need to take this one, but S-Clamp has to make a big play. He gets that first kill on Instinct. He's able to back down and heal up. Enzerk versus S-Clamp now. S-Clamp clutches up, taking down Enzerk, and they are winning that map 1. I don't think I had no idea what was going to happen.
That was huge. Incredible play out of him. Was able to take out the 1, and look at him, 10 health. He was able to get the heal and get out of there in time and then get back into the fight.
Yeah.
And it looks like Enzerk just wasn't prepared.
Yeah, that's just great awareness by S-Clamp, hitting exactly what he needed to do in each moment. Wins that first fight. Able to get the heal while backing off, creates that distance between him and that other player, and then closes the gap to finish off that last kill and win the map.
So, Man, map 1 went to round 11. I was not expecting that. Looking at the stats, though, S-Clamp just going off with 2k damage. But very close nail-biter game. Went down to a 1v1 in round 11. And we're going to be going into, I believe, Arsenal up next.
Yep. So Arsenal is going to be our next map. This is New Religion taking up that first map. Not necessarily the most convincing win, but still able to get the win.
Yeah,
and those clutch moments can be the difference maker. I mean, if you're just able to clutch up more than the other team, you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, and like I was saying before, I mean, all that really matters is whether or not you get the win. But if you're just getting by and having really close matches, maybe some sloppy plays here and there, at some point you're going to run into a team that's just going to destroy you. So we're going to have to see if maybe that was just these guys kind of feeling each other out. Maybe it's a rough map. I think everybody has a map that they're not too good at. But we'll just have to see as we go into Arsenal. Like we mentioned before, it's one of the larger maps. I don't think it's larger than Payload. So I do want to say that with this map, there's so many different rooms that block the sight lines. So that gives you more of an opportunity to get flanks onto your opponent. And we were seeing that from the Religion team. They were trying to push that advantage and push those flanks as much as possible. So maybe this is a good map for them.
Yeah, and something we haven't seen a lot with this qualifier that we did last is a lot of snipers coming out. Yeah. And I think we only saw Valence pull it out off one break, and that might have even been an accident. Like he didn't want to keep it. So we'll have to see. I might cycle through a little bit and see what we're rocking. Just a lot of Sogs and Maddoxes to start here. We saw a little ICR play in that first semifinal, but no real sniper play yet. That's going to be T-Killer getting that first kill on Enzerk, and T-Killer getting a quick second kill on Instinct. So maybe a little momentum shift in the blue team's favor.
Yeah, so let's check out this kill cam. This is very odd that he was able to catch both players in the vent, because you don't really have any room to strafe, so that's an easy team shot. But when you're able to catch your opponents off guard in a game like Call of Duty, you can quickly shut down your opponents and just end the round almost instantly. So Religion getting that round 1 advantage. I'm going to jump on board with Killer as he's currently 2-0, and I want to see if he can keep this going.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, but like you mentioned, even in the first map, that Vents was kind of a dangerous spot to be in. We saw Valence kind of read that situation. He knew exactly when to check for players in Vents there, but T-Killer was able to take that spot and make it work. Either it's almost like the meta of the meta. Like when you know what to expect, what you expect becomes the unexpected in a way. Like it's that like reversal shift. If you know everyone always checks that, then you start not checking that, and then it becomes good to be in that spot again. Yeah. So those vents have seen some interesting play. We saw some really good flanks coming out of those vents too in the earlier rounds. So yeah, it just happened to work out for T-Killer there. And as we go into this map, blue team now pushing up towards that A bomb site. I believe the bomb is going down currently. That's going to be S-Clamp and T-Killer making quick work one by one of Instinct and Enzerk. And they go up 2-0 now in this second map.
I was not expecting this. I thought it was going to be
close.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be much closer off the break, but everything is just going right for this blue team, and they're playing it perfectly.
Yeah, it might just be a little bit of a confidence boost. That you go into that first map jitters, you're not sure how you're going to fare. And then you get that little taste of victory and the nerves settle down a little bit. You feel a little bit more comfortable. You're able to play how you feel like you should play. So that might be what we're seeing out of New Religion right now. And we've seen this setup before. We saw Speed Demons do this same kind of pause, wait in the middle, in that break room, and now they're going to be making a quick push towards this A bomb site. I'm on board with T-Killer right now, not seeing anyone. Red team still waiting to wrap around from B, so blue team going to push on through, see if they can catch them on this flank. Red team slowing down a little bit. S-Clamp checking his corners. S-Clamp going to be taking down Instinct, and that's going to be T-Killer with the triple kill this round, taking down everyone on the map.
All right, so we were talking about, has there been a player that consistently gets 2 kills in a round? Now T-Killers are getting 3 kills in a round.
Yeah, he just had to one-up Volans.
Yeah, he's just breaking records, it seems, just killing everybody on the map.
Everybody. I'm going to kill, you know what? He's like, I'm so on fire right now, I'm going to just kill everything. It wouldn't surprise me if he just turns and just sprays down S-Clamp right here and then takes the round himself.
Yeah, so typically I want to jump on board with other players, but T-Killer is just having a great game currently, 4-0. They're up 3-0 on the map. So I want to just stick on board with him and see how he continues to play this out.
Yeah, Enzerk and Instinct sitting on double donuts right now. No kills out of any of them. They're practically on their way to a baker's dozen at this point. So yeah, T-Killer just pushing through. Even his movement out of the blue team in general looks a little bit more confident. They look like they're more stable in their lines of sight. They know where they want to be looking. And that's going to be S-Clamp taking down Instinct again. Great plays out of S-Clamp. Noticing a trend with his SOG play, able to open up pathways for this blue team. And I think they're getting in their groove. Even in their movement, they look like they're playing a little bit more confident. Of course, Enzerk has that bomb right now, is wrapping around towards B side as the blue team tries to spot him out. But if I was Enzerk in this scenario, man, it's a little bit scary. He might be able to get the bomb down, but if the blue team reads that he's not pushing towards A, they might be able to get a quick kill. But no, they're going to be split up to going into this B push. So we'll see how they pinch. But if Enzerk is able to just catch one of these players out when the other teammate isn't able to follow up, he might be able to clutch this round.
And it looks like the blue team, they're attacking the 2 common sight lines that look over the bomb, and just like that, Enzerk is quickly taken down.
Yeah, and that's T-Killer again. Going to be a diffuse. Now the blue team going up 4-0. The red team has to start making some adjustments, but T-Killer, I think, is catching them off guard. It's really, they didn't expect that. First round, like we mentioned, that little, oops, I'm going left, I'm going right. I'm not sure which way I'm actually going. But now that the blue team knows exactly what they want to do, the red team now has to adjust.
Yeah, and I'm just going to have to praise the movement out of the defense when they were pushing towards that bomb. They split up, which we usually say is quite risky, but they were, like I was saying before, they were attacking 2 specific spots that are usually sightlines to watch over the bomb. And I think both players are in a position where they could immediately respond if a fight did break out. So I just like how prepared they were, and they knew what they were doing as they were going into it.
Yeah, there's a big difference between like committing to a push and then over committing to a push. That's when you get those 2v1 clutches. A quick bomb plant, though, going down here on B bomb site. That's going to be T-Killer planting the bomb. Red team now has to respond, and still no kills out of them. Both getting goosed. T-Killer, meanwhile, is 5-0. 5 kills, no deaths for this guy. So he's really feeling himself, really in the groove. Couple shots going down on Instinct. No teammate able to push up just yet. Checking that bomb really quickly. Enzerk going down from S-Clamp. And now that's going to be a two kills out of that ICR from S-Clamp. And we're on match point.
That man did not give up. He was just sticking to the fight. He wasn't taking any cover. He just kept shooting, and he wouldn't stop for anything. And look at that. Laser beams the first guy and just held his ground, kept jumping, and was able to get the shot through the wall for the kill to force a match point.
So you would say that he stuck to his guns on that one?
Frank. Come on now.
You hate to see it. But all right, so it's going to be match point for New Religion right now. And this looks like a whole new team compared to what we saw first map. T-Killer right off the rip, and that's it. That's it. I didn't even finish my sentence.
That was so abrupt. It just ended out of nowhere.
6-0. Round 11 first map, 6-0 second map. Name a more iconic duo.
And this kill cam, wow. We were talking about how these teams, if they want to move on to the grand final and they want to be able to compete with Speed Demons, they have to improve their play. And I think that this team is now prepared.
Yeah,
at least judging off of the arsenal.
Whatever team was on the controller on map 1, man, they would have had a rough time against Speed Demons. Whatever team showed up map 2 that just 6-0'd the red team, okay, maybe they got a shot. Because T-Killer was on fire that whole map. I mean, just looking at the scoreboard, Jared,
Frank.
Jared, they double goosed them in the second map.
That blows me away. And one thing I want to point out as we look forward to the grand final, if we do somehow go to a game 3, that will be on Arsenal. So it looks right now that New Religion, this is like one of their better maps. We haven't seen too much of this team, but if this semifinal matchup really proved anything, they're pretty nice on Arsenal.
Yeah, and keep in mind, during that first qualifier, Arsenal was the only map that Speed Demons dropped. So if it goes to a game or map 3, yeah, we might be in for one. So I don't want to wait, any longer. We'll get the grand final set up. It's going to be Speed Demons going up against the Fresh Faces New Religion. So guys, that's going to do it for our semifinal matches. Again, keep an eye on that chat. You'll find a link to save 10% on all KontrolFreek products. But before we head into that grand final, let's take a little look at a recap from our first qualifier and take a look at our ascender of the tournament. Guys, stay tuned. Welcome to the KontrolFreek 2v2 S&D Showdown Ascender of the Tournament, powered by Beyond. Speed Demons started off strong in the semifinals this past weekend, but Valence truly stood out as the X factor for the Speed Demon squad, battling back and winning map 3 to move on to the grand finals. With the $1,250 prize pool and a spot in our $5,000 invitational in August on the line, no one could have predicted what came next. Valen's hyper-aggressive SOG play, alongside support from teammate Cap Seidel, caught previous champions Lightsfire and Roland off guard, and Speed Demons closed out the tournament in a 6-1 victory on Gridlock in a 2-0 sweep, earning the title of champions for this week. But this 2v1 clutch out of Valence in the semifinals truly solidified his spot as the ascender of the tournament. Be sure to follow Team Beyond Net on social media to stay up to date with the latest news and announcements for the KontrolFreek Search and Destroy Showdown.
We're cranking up the temperature. Brace yourselves. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the grand finals of the KontrolFreek 2v2 S&D Showdown, and we have a real barnstormer on our hands for the grand finals. We've got the reigning champions of the last qualifier. That's Team Speed Demons, featuring Valence and Capsidal. And if you were tuned in, you saw that Valence was our previous ascender of the tournament. He made such amazing plays, so many clutch 2v1s that we just had to spotlight his gameplay for that. But they've got a new challenger coming up this weekend. It is Team New Religion, featuring T Killer and S Clamp. So we're going to have to see how this plays out, because we were going into that second semifinal thinking, at least in my case, thinking that Speed Demons kind of had this one in the bag. That first map was a little shaky for New Religion, but they completely turned their gameplay around on Arsenal. They went from map 1 being around 11 to winning map 2 6-0, totally shutting down their opponents. They got, Jared, I feel almost bad, but I have to bring it up again. They didn't let the red team get any kills. They completely shut them. It wasn't just a 6-0. It was a 6-0 with no kills.
Yeah, it just utter dominance out of this red team. And not to downplay the grand final, because these guys will still be competing for a share of a large prize pool. But with our rules, so Speed Demons, they won the first qualifier earlier this month. And if they were to win this again, they can't qualify twice. It will go to the next eligible team. So New Religion, they already guaranteed their spot in the grand final. So this is kind of a preview of what we might see in the coming months.
Yeah, going to be interesting. And let me break that down too for anyone who might be tuning in right now. So with this qualifier, not only is there $1,250 on the line, but the winner of each tournament also earns the spot in the final 5K tournament in August. But since Speed Demons already won the first qualifier, that means New Religion has already qualified for that grand final, that 5K tournament. So yeah, they're going to be seeded in. They'll get their, no matter which way this match goes, there might be a rematch coming up somewhere down the line. So it's going to be really cool to see how all of this ends up playing out.
Yeah, this is going to be great practice for both teams, but also they're fighting for that share of $1,200. First place taking that $1,000, which is huge.
Right.
But yeah, so like we were saying, this might be a preview of that grand final in August. But these guys have to set their sights on this first match.
Right. And that's one of the cool things. Like, it's not like, oh, we already qualified, whatever. There's still all that money on the line. First place, $1,000. Second place, $250. So they're still battling it out for that. So keep that in mind. I want to jump on board with Valence, because he caught fire towards the end of those rounds at the last map, struggled a little bit at the start, which is kind of the MO for Speed Demons at this point. And I'm not sure if he saw those players cross map as he was checking those angles. Valence, though, getting very aggressive. I think he saw S-Clamp there. It's going to be Capsidal, though, getting the first blood, able to take down T-Killer. And now it's a 2 versus 1. Again, this is the hyper aggression that we've seen out of Speed Demons in the past. Valence kind of just goes in. Capsidal works as that backbone for him. So S-Clamp on the run, definitely trying to just stay alive, reposition, and figure something out now, because he knows that the Speed Demons are hot on his trail.
Yeah, and if we're going to talk about keys to victory for both teams, I think for this blue team, the Speed Demon squad, they're going to have to just try to overwhelm this red team with their aggression. But there is that risk of just being completely shut down. So the red team, they're looking to shut down Valence and force those 2-on-1 battles against Capsidal. Capsidal can hold his own, but he's not known to be that aggressive player to make things happen. Valence, great flank to end that round.
Yeah, that was just a textbook flank there. They both pushed in, targeted that enemy player, and Valence knew that if he wrapped around, if Capsidal was there and got some shots into him, it was an easy kill to clean up. So there we see the melee going down on S-Clamp, and that's going to be a round 1 win on this first map for the Speed Demons.
right, so I do want to jump on board with S-Clamp. He was going clutch in that last semifinal, so I want to see how he responds as they're pushing over to the A side. This is the common area to fight at. Typically don't see players on the B side, and just like that, shut down again.
This is like what we saw during that first qualifier. Speed Demons is able to just push in and end rounds so quickly that their opponents rarely have time to get their footing and figure out what's going on before they're already dead. So here we see Capsidal here. I mean, that player soaring across his screen. He knows if he gets that one-shot melee, he's going to be able to take down that player, and they do. So that's going to be 2-0 now for the Speed Demons. And keep in mind, T-Killer was able to really be that X factor for this New Religion squad, especially in that second map. But Valence and Capsidal are really a whole nother beast, especially when they get going. Here's Valence just out in the open. He's going to plant a bomb, sees some bullets getting sprayed by him, doesn't even care. Valence gets that bomb down at A, and now T-Killer and S-Clamp have to make a move. Here's a little bit of COD timing for you, though. S-Clamp going to be taking down Valence with that Maddox, and Capsidal here, not as explosive in his 2v1s as Valence, but definitely has what it takes to clutch up when he needs to. We'll see if he's able to do it here. T-Killer, though, going to be taking him down, and this is going to be a defuse for the red team.
Good round overall. I think the red team is starting to catch on to the fact that this blue team has just been trying to overwhelm them, playing overly aggressive, I would say, very confident in their movement. And so they're taking it slow and just letting them make a mistake. And that's exactly what happened to Valence. He just rushed right down. He rushed for the bomb plant immediately, which is a huge risk. Anybody could have taken him down with a sight line through the showers. But then Valence got that bomb down, rushed mid, and he was immediately taken down. So hopefully this red team is starting to catch on to that, and they're going to be able to play around that and shut Valence down.
Yeah, I got to wonder if it's almost something along the lines of Speed Demons getting a little cocky or a little comfortable. Because, yeah, Valence kind of just ran straight to the site and decided he was going to plant. And it ended up backfiring a little bit on him. So maybe that round loss was a little bit of a wake-up call. And there's Capsidal getting a first kill quickly on S-Clamp. Valence now running around. Looks like T-Killer trying to make a move for that B-bomb site, but there we go. Valence taking him down with that SOG. A quick adjustment out of the blue team there, and that's more the pace they need to be playing at if they want to clutch out this grand final.
I'm surprised. I'm assuming it has to do with the positioning of that other player when he was rushing mid, but they just knew to go to B side. That could have been just kind of like a coin toss thing. Like, we've been fighting at A for the last 3 rounds. They're probably pushing B this time to try to throw us off. So they both rushed to B together and just quickly took down a killer. But now up 3-1 in this first map. This is looking dangerous.
Yeah, I'm on board with Capsidal right now. Looks like they're making another quick push towards B. Might opt to wrap around towards A, depending on whether or not they gain any intel for this. I think Valence and Capsidal really do perform well with flanks around that A bomb site, so it doesn't surprise me that they might favor this one a little bit here. And T-Killer and S-Clamp kind of split up, but we see who is that. That's S-Clamp kind of crouching, camping this bomb site. If Capsidal sees a foot, he might get... Oh, no way. No way. S-Clamp with the sneaky beaver play, but Valence there able to clutch up, get that kill on S-Clamp. But now T-Killer knows where Valence is at. So this is a little bit of a battle of those aggressive Titans here, but Valence making a heads-up play to wrap around towards B. It's almost like he's in the mind of T-Killer right now and knows exactly where to go.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned before, typically when a teammate is taken down, you're right there to immediately answer. So I'm assuming Valence was expecting him to check that A side first, but there's that Call of Duty timing we're talking about.
Oof.
Didn't check his corner and was taken down.
Yeah, just a great play out of Valence and Capsidal there. They adapted and they overcame, right? So a good round, but I gotta say, I gotta give credit to the red team too. T-Killer and S-Clamp, they're not playing as panicked. It was a little bit of a cheeky play out of S-Clamp camping that bomb site there. Worked out for him for that kill, but when you're going up against someone like Valence, you need more than the gimmicks.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing that I'm really impressed from this blue team here, the way that they're switching up their rounds. So the first 3 rounds were pretty standard. They were just rushing showers. But then they decided, okay, well, let's just rush straight down mid into their spawn. So being able to kind of throw off your opponent is going to go a long way. But looking at this current round, we're down to a 1v1. Both players having a decent game statistically. And there we go. Clamp is able to get that clutch kill to keep his team alive.
Yeah, good play by S-Clamp there. Knew that he could get the height advantage over Capsidle. Capsidle probably assumed he was going to stay back and try to catch him on the flank. So S-Clamp gets the high ground and able to take down Capsidle pretty quickly there. But still looks to be a little bit in favor of Speed Demons at this point. T-Killer and S-Clamp have shown some glimpses of hope, but they need to do a little bit more in just getting better breaks. I think on those breaks are kind of make or break for the red team here. And last round, Valence got a little too aggressive, I think, and tried to push up in a 2v1. And so good job by the red team capitalizing on that. But we'll see how the rest of these rounds shake out as Capsidle gets a quick first kill on T-Killer there. I'm on board with Valence. He's going to be wrapping around, reuniting with his boy Capsidle as they push towards this B bomb site. So it's going to be S-Clamp left up again for the red team. And I think the blue team is just out for blood right now. I think they just want to get this kill. Not sure if S-Clamp has a read on it. Knows where they are now. S-Clamp trying to run away. Valence, though, in hot pursuit. S-Clamp able to escape within inches of his life, trying to wrap back around now. Has to get away again, but is not going to as Valence takes him down.
I wish we had a graphic or some sort of content that would show the breakouts from this Speed Demon squad. The first 3 rounds, they went to showers. Then the 4th round, they just rushed right down the middle. And then this round, they did a split push. One person went A, one person went B. And the whole idea was, I'm going to check A, you check B. If I don't see anybody A, then I'm going to have you come back around, to my side, right? They're just trying to get as much intel as possible and then figure out their next move. And it's just those little things that are really keeping the red team down.
Yeah. Match point on map 1 now for Speed Demons. I'm on board with T-Killer, having a little bit of a rough start compared to that semifinal map. He's sitting at 1-6 right now, so has yet to catch fire, but it's tough to find your footing when you're going up against Valence and Capsidle. A little bit of a slower break right now. Players now meeting here. That's going to be Capsidle getting the first kill on T-Killer, and Valence finishing that kill on S-Clamp. So that is going to be a map 1 win for the Speed Demons in this grand final.
And that's a tough map for our red team. We were talking about if they're able to hold on until map 3, they might have a shot, because they were just absolutely going off on Arsenal. But now that they've lost map 1, they have to worry about surviving when we go into map 2, which will be Hacienda.
Yeah, but we did see a huge turnaround from New Religion in the semifinals. Keep that in mind. Their map 1 went to around 11, and the next map was a 6-0 victory for them. So maybe that's their the groove that they're usually in. Maybe they struggle map 1, and then they get the jitters out, and they're able to perform a little better in game 2. We'll see if that's the case coming up on this next map here, but it's kind of what we expected out of Valence and Capsidle. If you're unable to capitalize and get Valence sort of out of that, out of the game early, get that quick kill on Valence, if he has free reign on the map, it's really a terror for any team. So we'll see if there's any adjustments coming out of New Religion on Hacienda here.
Yeah, and I'd hate to bog this New Religion team down, but I feel like that first map was the most important one. They were on fire at the end of their semifinal. Speed Demons, they've just been hanging out, watching the stream, trying to do some studying on their opponents. So they were, I would say, New Religion going into that first map on Gridlock, they were a little bit more hot. But the fact that they were shut down, and now we're going into Hacienda, which is, I want to say, probably the most difficult map in 2v2s. They're going to have to go all out to stay alive and try to force that game 3 on Arsenal.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see, but, not out of the game yet.
Yeah, absolutely not out of the tournament. It's not over until it's over, but it's going to be an uphill battle, and I'd like to see him do it.
Yeah, and I think they can. They showed us, we were a little lukewarm on them in that first semifinal map, but they definitely turned it around on map 2. So it's not out of the question that they can make something happen here. It's just that we know what to expect out of Valence and Capsidle because we've seen them in this situation before. And T-Killer and S-Clamp are fresh faces to this grand final. So, it's a little bit of a wild card in there. Mix that in with sort of the grand finals pressure. And yeah, like you said, it's an uphill battle for them, but in no way are they unable to do it. So there's S-Clamp going to be getting that first kill on Valence. Capsidle follows it up with the kill on S-Clamp. So now it's Capsidle and T-Killer squaring off here, and there we have it.
That's a good start.
T-Killer makes the read. Yeah, that's what they need to do.
That's a
Play
really good
patient,
start.
take out Valence, win this map.
Yeah, the one thing I want to point out with this Speed Demon squad, you can learn a lot about what they're planning on doing in a current round by looking at their loadouts. Typically, we see Capsidle with the Maddox, sometimes an ICR, and then you have Valence using the SOG because he's the aggressor for the team. But this map has very long sight lines with a couple of corners where you might want to have an SMG. But that first round, both players on the blue team were running Maddox, and they were trying to work those long-range angles, and it didn't work out. So now you can see Valence is opting to use the SOG yet again.
Something else that's interesting to me, mentioning the loadouts, both Valence and Capsidle running that lightweight. And I don't think either players from the New Religion squad have that equipped, at least on the break. I saw Capsidle switch out loadouts after that initial break. So that's something to keep in mind, too. That just sort of complements their hyper-aggressive playstyle as we see Valence getting that kill on T-Killer.
Ooh. So they were able to get that bomb down, but that's just a tough fight. So that's going to be a free defuse for this blue team. I mean, obviously, in an ideal situation, you want to get that bomb down and try to stay alive as long as possible to force your opponents to go for a risky defuse. But once that pick came through and there's that 2-on-1 advantage, it's going to be really difficult to keep the team off of that defuse.
Yeah, for sure. Now, is there any, coming up on this next round, anyone you want to see that you feel like we haven't paid maybe enough attention to going forward?
I would like to see Capsidle. I want to see more of him.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't see too much of him on the gridlock match, but we talked about how he is the backbone of the team, and I'd like to keep an eye on him and kind of explain what he is doing that's more or less supporting these great plays out of Valence. So yeah, Valence is the one that's like the superstar player doing all these crazy plays. I mean, you saw the highlight reel from the ascender of the tournament for Qualifier 1, but Capsidle, he's always in the background making that possible.
Yeah, and then we see a first quick kill coming out of Capsidle on S-Clamp there. It looks like T-Killer also stuck up on these stairs. Is he going to be able to challenge here? Definitely a tough play to make, and Valence going to be cleaning up that kill. So a quick round there. But yeah, Capsidle kind of like that, he's like the homeroom mom, right? Like he brings in the Capri Suns and the orange wedges, like make sure everyone's hydrated, everyone's, got their energy levels up and lets Valence just kind of run around. So yeah, maybe not the flashiest player, but
just the end of that last play, he got the first kill. There was a great team shot out of both players on the blue team. But when they were down to that final player in that 2v1 situation, he was just running in and just firing shots. He was trying to force his opponent to fight him. So if there were to be a trade, like a perfect situation, you win the round without any players dying. But he's going in first to get some damage in, and if he is taken down, it's an easy kill for Valence. So it's just his superior positioning and his knowledge of these maps and the communication from this blue team just allows these great plays that fall into the lap of Valence.
Yeah, and looking at this round here, going to be interesting to see how this one shakes out. And I was just going to say, S-Clamp and T-Killer making quick work of the Speed Demons. They had that flanked perfectly. I was worried the whole time as Speed Demons were working their way around the map. I mean, you just saw New Religion slowly set up that pinch. And if Capsidle or Valence had checked like a different corner at any point in time, they probably would have caught that pinch from New Religion, but that just worked out perfectly in their favor, and they just tied up the rounds 2-2.
Yeah, let's jump on board with S-Clamp and see what he can do here. Tied up the map, and I have a feeling they're going to take this round. That last one, that flank they had was huge, and it looks like they're going to try to go for something similar yet again. Hanging out on the B side and not seeing anything, so they're probably going to check out A shortly, and that's where the enemy team is hanging out.
Yeah, it looks like that bomb is going to be going down from Valence. Capsidal watching this corner, though, and they might have a pinch set up. But that's going to be T-Killer getting that first kill on Valence. So it's going to be all on Capsidal to make something happen here. He opts to drop down, spots T-Killer, unable to clean up that kill, and S-Clamp comes in with the SOG to get the kill on Capsidal. Yeah, like you said, absolutely huge.
And once again, killing all 3 players on the map and getting the defuse.
You just got to do it.
You just got to do it. Thankfully, you can get away with that when there's no kill streaks or anything involved, or excuse me, score streaks. But yeah, I would love to see him on the kill cam.
Killing everybody.
Yeah, well, hopefully we don't just see the defuse or something, but I think we'll be able to see the whole play. Yeah, so spots out Capsidal and just perfect aim with the SOG, and that's the hit scan in action. As long as that aimer's on your opponent, it's going to instantly hit them and instantly do damage. You still have to consider the damage drop off at long range, but just completely laser beaming his opponents.
I'm hopping on board with T-Killer right now, who has the bomb for this New Religion squad, and they currently have this map lead over Valence and Capsidal. T-Killer playing a little patient, checking a couple cheeky corners there, going to make a push towards the B bomb site. Both teams going to split up. Speed Demons hanging around A, but now both teams working their way towards the middle. Who's going to get caught out here? That's going to be S-Clamp catching Capsidal. Valence has to make a huge play, but T-Killer says no, takes down Valence, and this New Religion squad takes a 2-round lead over our reigning champ Speed Demons.
This is exactly what they need. As long as they can keep this up and win this map 2, I feel like they're going to have the advantage in that map 3 on Arsenal. Like we said before, they just destroyed their opponents in the semifinal, winning that, what was it, 6-0? Not a single kill on the other.
6-0.
Yeah, 6-0, not a single kill on the other team, but they still have to keep their minds on this current map. I'm on board with Valence and see if he can make something happen.
Yep, checking out Valence here. Going to be pushing towards B. They're going to be running into T-Killer here, guarding this bomb site. Opt to wrap through, though. S-Clamp a little bit late off the spawn, or just hanging out in that spawn, rather, watching for Valence and Capsidal to make their way through. Valence and Capsidal might be caught a little bit off guard. They're making these initial breaks and these initial pushes, and then they're waiting. Typically, when they're feeling more confident or they have the lead, they'll just push straight through and head towards wherever they want and plan on slaying on the way and then doing whatever they want. But through the stellar play we've seen out of T-Killer and S-Clamp, they're now having to think about their positioning a little more. And T-Killer now right behind Valence. Are we going to hear some footsteps? But a little bit of a clamber play made by Valence on T-Killer as he was trying to get that position to take him out. So that's going to be the bomb going down for Speed Demons. Valence now also spots S-Clamp, but Capsidal cleans up that kill, and Speed Demons take the round.
Clamp, a little trigger happy there, just jumped the gun too early. He spotted out Valence after he armed the bomb, and the moment he shot, both players knew where he was at. So maybe if he played that a little bit slower, that could have been a different round. But with that said, you can see, well, actually, kill cam is cut off. But yeah, as soon as Valence armed the bomb, he jumped into the water, which was a great idea to just avoid any conflict. But S-Clamp, he just fired a little bit too early, didn't hit a single shot, and then Capsidal immediately responded, and that team shot shut him down. So once again, looks like we're going for a really slow-paced round from this blue team. They're trying to change the pace to claw their way back into it, and so far it's working.
Yeah, it's cool to see Speed Demons be so adaptable to some different play styles here. We kind of notarize them for their aggression because it works so well for them, but they are able to make these slower plays. As we just saw there, Valence taking down T-Killer by just camping out that fence a little bit. So now it's going to be a 2-on-1 for S-Clamp. Of course, bomb is down, I believe, so that's going to be Valence going for the defuse, and S-Clamp has to make something happen here, or he's just going to give the round away, and it's going to be tied up.
Yeah, that's one of those tough situations. I mean, when you're in that 2v1 situation, the bomb is down and you need to defuse it, you can have one player immediately go for the defuse, and then the other guy watches over him and just kind of force their hand, and there was just no way to respond.
Yeah, a little bit interesting, though, because there's no real downside to at least trying to make a play there. So it's interesting that they would just kind of let that one go.
Yeah, I'm assuming he was anticipating a defuse coming in just a few moments later. Probably had no idea those guys were rushing the bomb immediately to force that advantage. But Here we go, now tied 4-4. Valence gets 1 kill. We're down to a 1v1. He does spot the other player.
Let's see. Yeah, T-Killer does have that Maddox, so he's going to be at a little bit of an advantage from this range. Valence, though, does have the bomb, but Valence, that dominant SOG that we've seen from him so often, absolutely huge kill out of Valence.
Yeah, the one thing about the SOG that a lot of people don't recognize is this gun has horizontal recoil, so it's trying to drag to the left and right a little bit up. So that makes it even more difficult to use at long range versus like an ICR where it mostly just pulls upward. So you can control that aimer, get those headshots at long range, but the SOG at long range, when you consider the damage drop off and that horizontal recoil, it's tough to land those shots, and Valence just making it look easy.
All right, and this is potentially it. Map point for Speed Demons here. I believe the bomb is in the hands of T-Killer as they work around this A bomb site. Capsidle and Valence, though, on the defense, forcing T-Killer and S-Clamp to wrap back around. We'll see potential last round here, though, as Speed Demons try to maintain their legacy as our KontrolFreek 2v2 S&D Showdown champions. No team really committing too heavily towards either bomb site here. T-Killer and S-Clamp know how much is at stake. Couple shots going down from S-Clamp there, though. Looks like they have position around this A bomb site, but Capsidle and Valence going to respond accordingly. That's S-Clamp going to be taking down Valence, and T-Killer going to be taking down Capsidle to stay alive.
All right, that's a good play. So now we're going to a round 11 on map 2. So if Speed Demons win this round, it's over. If the red team, if they're able to win this, they stay alive and force the map 3 on Arsenal, which we're heavily putting in their favor.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Speed Demons did lose on Arsenal last qualifier, and T-Killer and S-Clamp 6-0'd their opponents on Arsenal in the last semifinal. So we're going to have to see how this one shakes out.
They're meeting head on at B. This is going to be a huge fight.
I'm on board with Valence. He pushes in. S-Clamp takes down Valence. It's going to be a Capsidle, and that's going to be it. A clashing of heads there, and we see a New Religion come out on top on map 2.
Insane plays. I was not expecting them to meet head on at Bravo, the B site. For this entire map, they were playing really slow or going to different sites. But finally, they meet head-on in round 11. It seemed like both players, both captains, they were calling out, yeah, let's just rush B. They won't expect it. They meet head-on and just crazy fight down to a 1v1, or was it a 2-on-1? Either way.
It was too quick to tell.
Yeah, New Religion, they stay alive and force that game 3.
Incredible. So is there anything more exciting than a round 11 leading in to a map 3 against the reigning champions? I would argue no.
And it just blows my mind looking back when we were just jumping into that the second semifinal. There's a little bit of doubts on this New Religion squad. You know, we're pointing out some of the mistakes, but man, they're definitely proving their worth now. And we mentioned before, they've already secured their spot in that grand final in August. But this might be a preview of what will happen at that grand final going against the previous qualifier champs in Speed Demons, which for anybody just tuning in, Speed Demons, they not only did they win the first KontrolFreek qualifier, but they have been winning a lot of the Beyond tournaments in recent memory. Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, this is a $1,250 pot on the line here. First place going to be winning $1,000. Second place, $250. So while New Religion has secured their spot in the 5K finals in August, that $1,000 is still up for grabs.
All right, so here we go.
Map 3 on your KontrolFreek 2v2 S&D Showdown. Make a prediction so that you can be wrong.
I mean, I don't think we're going to see a 6-0 out of New Religion. They did it last time, but this is a tough opponent. I want to say that New Religion is going to close it out and win this.
Okay.
That was a massive dagger on Speed Demons in that previous map. So let's jump on board with S-Clamp and see how they respond to this bomb plant.
Sure, on board with S-Clamp right now, letting TE Killer run into some fire. There are a couple shots going into Capsidal. Of course, this bomb is down at B for the Speed Demons. S-Clamp, though, tries to clamber. That's going to be Valence and Capsidal closing out those 2 quick kills. But yeah, I mean, New Religion, and to be fair, that first semifinal, that first map, it was sloppy. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. So for them to settle in and be performing like this against Speed Demons is just, I mean, I cannot give them enough credit for how well they're doing and how much they're surprising us right now.
Yeah, and I just love that never give up attitude from this red team. They had a pretty rough semifinal at first, but then they started picking up, catching fire, and then they're going against the previous champions. Had a pretty rough game 1, but they come back and just clutch up map 2. So yeah, even though they're off to a rough start right now, losing the first round of map 3, I still think these guys have high hopes, and they're still level-headed, with their communication and play style.
Yeah, I'm on board with T-Killer right now. He's got the bomb chilling in mid-map. S-Clamp watching some of these sight lines around B. Both Valence and Capside are going to be wrapping around towards A, trying to check that bomb site. And Valence, depending on what angle he takes, we'll see if T-Killer is able to hear him running behind him here. Doesn't look like he does. So Valence and Capsidal just trying to get some information. Looks like Capsidal spotted S-Clamp, able to put a couple of shots down range and force him to regroup with T-Killer. T-Killer, though, now working his way around towards A, while Capsidal and Valence more on that B side. So it looks like they are able to get this bomb down here. And now we'll see where the dust settles. Looks like T-Killer might be running into Capsidal, and T-Killer able to get that nice kill there, but we'll see if Valence can clutch up. I'm on board with Valence right now. Valence takes down S-Clamp. Now it's going to be Valence going up against T-Killer. Valence going for this defuse. Good timing there. Drops the bomb, comes back around, but T-Killer looks like he now knows Valence is in that tough position, though. Has to make a play, has to get a kill, but T-Killer able to take down Valence with that Maddox, and that's going to be a round loss for the Speed Demons.
I like the confidence, the fact that the clock was below 20 seconds. He could have just popped a few shots and took cover and just tried to milk the clock as much as possible, but he stood there and kept fighting and was able to take out Valence. So I like the confidence out of him.
Yeah. I mean, just definitely impressed with the way this New Religion squad has settled in. The aggression that Speed Demons can kind of throw at you can be overwhelming at times, but T-Killer and S-Clamp have done a great job of being able to dictate the pace of play and sort of work their game a little bit. What we saw in that first grand final of the qualifiers was that Valence and Capsidal were just able to keep pushing, and their opponents never really caught on. But that hasn't been the case with this New Religion squad, so it's been really exciting to see.
I want to jump on board with Plant again. He is in a fight. Was able to get out, though, and get that heal off in time. But notice how he's using the ICR, so he has to be careful around this corner. Looks like both players walked away, though.
Yep, and that's going to be Capsidal planting the bomb at this B site. Still on board with Clamp, though, watching some of those angles, trying to see if Valence or Capsidal are going to push up. Based on their playstyle in the past, it's kind of what you expect. A couple of shots going down on Capsidal there, a couple more shots going down range from Clamp. Clamp now able to get some shots onto Valence. T-Killer is also down here. Yeah, he's doing a great job with this ICR, maintaining that pressure. Valence, though, able to push through. And that's going to be Capsidal finishing up that final kill on S-Clamp. But great job from S-Clamp there, keeping that pressure on and trying to keep T-Killer alive.
Yeah, S-Clamp, like you mentioned, keeping the pressure, but if you just keep firing at your opponents, eventually you're going to run out of ammo, and that's what ultimately got him killed.
Yeah, no bottomless clips here, so a great push from Valence and Capsidal, hitting that tiny little window of timing where they had to make a play. So this is going back and forth. And yeah, I don't feel comfortable predicting this one going anyway, because both teams absolutely showing up when they need to. I'm on board with Valence right now, though, as he gets pretty aggressive. Going to spot T-Killer with the bomb and take him down quickly. So now S-Clamp has to make something happen here for the red team. But that's more the style that we've seen from Valence and Capsidle in the past. Just run until you find an enemy and then kill him and then figure out what you're going to do.
And in regards to Valence, it's not just his shot and his decision making, but it's also his strafe. I believe the SOG is only, I think it's like 5 or 6 shots to kill somebody, but with his strafe, he's able to dodge many. And so it just makes it so difficult for his opponent to get that kill. Because when you think about it, when the SOG is shooting that fast, it's going to be difficult to dodge.
You got to be schmoving.
Yeah. So just incredible play out of Valence, and he's going to get this defuse and go up 3-1 in map 3.
Yeah, so this is a little bit more of a lead here for the Speed Demons. We'll have to see how New Religion responds. Again, we now know that they are able to. They were able to settle down. They were able to get the kills they need to, make the plays they had to make. But when Valence starts going off, we haven't really seen anything that's been able to stop him yet. So whether or not New Religion can stop Valence before he really catches fire, we'll have to see.
Valence pulled out a sniper rifle. Let's see if he can get a shot off or if he's just going to switch back to his SOG. But this is one of his specialties on this map. You'll see him quickly go for a shot off the break. If he doesn't see anything, he'll switch his class out. So it didn't get a kill, but that's just one of those things that when we talk about being unpredictable and changing up your strategy, we've seen many times where that results in a kill, a quick 2-on-1 advantage, and the round is almost immediately over. Bomb is going down. Red team rotating to the A side. But they're going to quickly run back through to B. Valence might be able to pick off Clamp around the corner. Here's the door. Gets the kill.
Nice play. Nice patience out of Valence there. But yeah, like you said, they're able to switch up styles, I think, more comfortably than a lot of teams. And there's Capsidle going to be finishing up that kill on T-Killer there. But yeah, just like Valence saying, okay, you know what? The SOG's been working, but I don't want my teammates to be able, or my opponents rather, to be able to adapt to that. Let me pull out the sniper this round. And I have to say too, watching the mini-map that last round, perfect patience coming out of Capsidle. Both T-Killer and S-Clamp were right on that B bomb site, just waiting for Capsidle to overextend, and he never did. That made T-Killer and S-Clamp wrap back around and set the Speed Demons up for that perfect play you just saw out of them.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how important it is to have a man advantage, especially in these 2v2s. And I noticed Valence, when he had that sniper rifle, he stayed back, and Capsidle also stayed back. So there's really a low chance of both players being taken down by keeping their distance and trying to get those easy long-range kills. But here we go again. 2-on-1 battle. They're rotating back to the A side, but looks like Killer's going to get that bomb down on B.
Yeah, nerves might be getting to this New Religion squad a little bit as this lead extends for the Speed Demons. At least the bomb is down, but still that 2 versus 1 is a tough spot to be in. T-Killer now engages. That's going to be Capsidle with that melee kill, and now Speed Demons going to be on match point.
Yeah, so now on match point, but this red team, they can't give up just yet. They can stay alive and keep pushing this, but I mean, we mentioned before, there's going to be an uphill battle from the very beginning, and when you were asking for my prediction, I want to say that red team, they were kind of getting a little hot at the end of that map 2, and I want to see them carry that momentum into map 3, but so far it looks like they're being shut down.
Yeah, and they performed so well on Arsenal in the semifinals, right? That's that 6-0 we keep talking about. And it looks like maybe they cooled off a little bit here, or Valence and Capsidle just having that experience of being in the grand finals and playing sort of at this level. It might just be a little bit more of an experience thing, but in no way is that taking away from the performance we've seen out of T-Killer and S-Clamp. They're still playing extremely well. It's just that Valence and Capsidle are making those little plays and those little adjustments that make all the difference.
Yeah, and honestly, for this red team, New Religion, being able to make it to the grand finals in your debut on stream, that's fantastic. We're down to a 1v1 though. We have to jump on board with Killer and see if he's able to clutch this out. And it's Valence yet again shutting it down and winning the tournament for his team.
Man, Speed Demons going back-to-back in the KontrolFreek 2v2 S&D showdown. But New Religion put on one hell of a show, almost stopped them dead in their tracks, forced that third map, a map which I would say they were favored on, but still the Speed Demons roster of Valence and Capsidal able to clutch up. Man, that was an exciting grand final for sure.
Yeah, and we mentioned previously going into this match, though Speed Demons won, they did get the majority of that prize pool. They got $1,000.
Right.
But New Religion, through the rules, since Speed Demons already qualified in the first qualifier, they're not eligible to qualify again, so that will go to New Religion. New Religion did secure their spot in that grand final in August. But this is definitely great practice. They're going to probably go over this VOD and check out what they did wrong, how they can improve, and they might meet Speed Demons again in August.
Yeah. So
actually, we actually might see them meet up again in qualifier number 3, possibly.
I was going to say, we have some more qualifiers on the way. Again, we have that graphic kind of laid out where you can see the road map for these showdowns. Right now, Speed Demons looking to be the most dominant and also the most adaptable. But as teams keep playing in these, getting that experience and start figuring them out, we'll have to see if they can contest that crown a little bit. So exciting stuff on the way. And Jared, is there anything else you want to add before we kind of close this showdown out?
Yeah, you can see the upcoming qualifiers on your screen right now. We mentioned before, Speed Demons won that first qualifier back on June 2nd. New Religion will qualify for today, but we have another one coming up on July 13th. So this is open, free to enter for anybody, so be sure to go to teambeyond.net to learn more and register.
Absolutely, well said. Couldn't have said it any better myself. So again, that's going to be July 13th. That is the next showdown. And like you might have seen, go ahead and sign up and you just might be our next ascender of the tournament. But until then, we'll see you next time. Peace.